Good morning, everybody. How you doing? How's it going? It is 7:20 a.m. this Monday morning, the day before Election Day, and it's a bit rainy outside. I don't know if Benja wants to go for a walk today. We're currently still in the back alley. You wanna go walking? You wanna go walking? I'm gonna leave my coffee cup over there because let's see what happens. Let's go, Benjo. Anyway, me and Benjo wanted to make sure, wanted to maybe be buddies. You'll see the Halloween skeleton. Be buddies with anybody who is encouraged to vote tomorrow. Who maybe you haven't voted yet, and you plan on voting either today or tomorrow. I think some states have early voting today. So me and Benjo just wanted to be a bit of a moral support in this voting process. Starting to rain a little bit more. You see it's raining out here, but we wanted to get out of the house. So we need a little bit of time outside of the house in the mornings. So, maybe you can think about your voting process like that, maybe. I don't know. You say, so what are the challenges to preventing somebody from voting? Parking. So, wouldn't it be great? I know in San Antonio, the Via buses, they're like, if there's like a concert downtown or whatever, they'll have like, you can meet at one place that's not downtown and park your car there and then take the bus or the shuttle to that location. I mean, wouldn't that be great? I mean, Let's go, Benja. I guess Benja wants to go. It's a slight drizzle. But anyway, so parking is an issue. So ideal there would be shuttles, right? The city would be able to provide shuttles. Say, y'all can park here in this free parking spot, and we'll shuttle you to the voting location, and have a bus every, I don't know, 15, half hour, whatever. I mean, wouldn't that be great? Maybe when you're having problems with the parking situation, maybe you can expand upon that idea. If you have to pay to park, I mean, which might be the case. I think there was early voting in San Antonio at the county courthouse, and all the parking around there is you have to pay. So that might be the situation. So I don't know, maybe you wear your I voted sticker somewhere, and there might be like, did you pay for parking? You go to a business or whatever, and they're like, if you paid for parking, you might get like a free refill or something. I don't know how much parking is for y'all, but parking has gotten expensive here in San Antonio, at least downtown. I was lucky enough to where I had a voting location where you didn't have to pay for parking. So there's the paying for parking issue, and hopefully you'll find some way to get through that. And then there's another issue of parking availability. There was one polling or voting place where the cars were just all lined up, the parking lot was full, and then there was a line of cars. I said, is this Chick-fil-A? What's going on? So you might encounter those two problems before you even set foot into the voting location. So those are two issues, and as long as we mentally are prepared about that, that's what we can do about that, right? So there might be a paying for the parking issue, and there might be a availability. You're just gonna have to maybe wait in your car or be in a long line just to park. That's unfortunate. But maybe you've got like the radio you got going on in the car. Maybe you got a little Bluetooth. You can hook yourself up, hook your stuff, listen to what you want. Okay. So now we've made it past those barriers. The barriers of paying for parking and parking availability. What other kind of barriers are there to hinder the patriotic process of voting, especially on election day? Because I know that can be really busy. Is the standing in line. And y'all want to know what I did? I brought a book, stood in line, and I read the entire time. Let's go, Banjo suggests maybe you bring along a book or a Kindle or a magazine. Tracy, she likes to do word searches. She has a book of word searches. So, maybe have that option. It's snacks. Okay, maybe you should think about in your voting plan, bringing along snacks. Because the last thing we'd want to do is get hangry. And maybe you can like FaceTime with your pet or something. Maybe you can say maybe a friend has already voted or whatever, and then they can you're like, I'm getting frustrated standing in this long line. And so maybe you could like FaceTime with a cute animal. And that's one thing maybe you can do. Read a book, Kindle, something like that. I mean, there's obviously always the internet, but maybe some people don't have data and they don't want to connect to the Wi-Fi, or the Wi-Fi is slow. Oh, that might be another thing. Slow Wi-Fi. You're in line. You're in all these other people here. That everybody's got a cell phone, maybe two. So you gotta compete for that. So we're mentally preparing for slow Wi-Fi. Mentally preparing for parking problems, and maybe practice some breathing. Like in the Bad Boys, you gotta do that woo-saw to calm it down. This is just a gnat at a barbecue type situation. And speaking of which, maybe you can talk about movies with other people in the line or whatever. Maybe. You always gotta have to kind of be aware of you're in an extremely political space. So maybe movies might be a go-to. We watched that Bad Boys for Life the other day. It was a really good movie. I said, man, I want to watch this in theaters with my popcorn. But anyway, so waiting in line, you get past the parking, you're waiting in line. We're doing our best not to get other people upset, because I think that might be a thing where there can be quite an escalation there. Maybe. Just throwing that out there. I mean, I've been seeing things where things are really calm, and then I've been seeing things where that wasn't what happened. So maybe we can learn about water irrigation. I think San Antonio is an old city, and it goes all the way over there. Right there. I think it's like down, and then this is kind of a little bit up. Anyway, maybe you can learn about water irrigation. I mean, you got slow Wi-Fi, so maybe you can get it on a website where you're not going to go through the website really quickly. So you're going to have to slow down and take your time when you're reading about water irrigation. Or you go on Twitter, you're just going to be scrolling and scrolling and scrolling with 150 limit, or what it used to be. I mean, maybe you'll read the captions that are longer than that. A book. I think a book is a marvelous suggestion. I like reading. And I happen to have really good books right now. So, oh my gosh, there's water in the creek today. So we're trying to avoid fatigue. Waiting in line to vote fatigue. So we got books, a little chit chat about non-political stuff. You know, because people be listening. You're in a small area, and you're like, oh, I'm having a conversation with this person, but you know, other people are waiting in line bored too. And I said, what are these people talking about? What's going on? So, you know, movies, maybe restaurants, you know, something kind of light. And then a book. Again, you can talk about books, read books. That's my suggestion. So you start reading the book and you start getting into it, and all of a sudden it's been like 10 minutes. And you're like, wow, it's been 10 minutes. I've taken 2 steps. So anyway, we got a little bit of, and as far as the fatigue, maybe you can do some stretching, right? You know, you gotta, and don't forget to breathe when you stretch, because sometimes people stretch and then they don't breathe. I mean, I'm not saying that's the worst thing you could possibly do, but it'd be one of the best things you could possibly do, to stretch and then breathe. Inhale, exhale. So, what else? We got the stretching, we got the book reading, the movie talking. Maybe we got some snacks going on. I drink these little, they're Gutsies, they're like little fruit pouches. And you get all this good stuff. So, you know, maybe bring along some of that. You know, maybe not a whole meal, but you know, just a couple snacks. You say you get hungry every half hour. I don't know. Bring 5 snacks. It might take a long time. Nancy May said it took her 3 hours. I said, oh my God, that's such a long time. Okay, so that's voter fatigue. What else do we got? What other kind of obstacles can we encounter in voting? Oh, maybe voter anxiety. You know, so you get to the vote and you're like, I know who I'm going to vote for president. I already know who I'm going to vote for president. It's not going to be an issue. But then there's all these other choices. Some places have sample ballots right there, so you can maybe make that part of your reading process if you were unaware of all the other votings taking place. But yeah, voter anxiety. You know, don't worry about that too much. As far as all the amendments go, they usually have to list it. They can't just or explain it. They can't just say, oh, this and this amendment, and then nothing about it. They give like a little mini synopsis of what that amendment is. So, at least they do here in San Antonio, Texas. So, try not to be, you'll be fine 1 minute and then you're standing in line, with everybody else, and then you're just like, oh my gosh, what am I even going to vote for besides president? What else is on the ballot? I did all this stuff preparing and I didn't look at the ballot. So don't worry, they usually have a little synopsis, you know. So my suggestion would be, when you get to that voting machine, oh my God, wait 1 second. Oh, I had to get my puppy. So my suggestion is, when you get to that voting machine, you uh, take your time. I know, you've been waiting in line that long. You can take the extra couple minutes to evaluate what's going on. Don't feel rushed. Just when you're feeling voter anxiety, maybe when you're waiting in line, maybe when you're right there at the machine, uh, you know, take a breath and try not to feel too rushed. Uh, you know, and maybe if you're tired of waiting in line and you got some stuff going on, maybe you can ask for a chair while you vote so you can sit down and vote. That's what happened at there was a whole voting machine just for people who needed to sit in a chair while they voted. So, sometimes little comforts like that can help ease the anxieties of what's going on. So, don't feel rushed. You took all this time, all this parking, all this line, you finally at the machine, it's okay. Nobody expects you to be speed reading through the voting process, especially if you haven't familiarized yourself already with it. Oh, there's Benjamin. Let's go, Benjamin. So don't feel rushed. Don't feel like, you have to skim your reading to read faster or anything like that. Take your time. Maybe make it a point to even read slower. Not to be obnoxious or anything, but just to, stay focused. Let's go, Benjamin. So yeah, a little voting anxiety. The best advice I can give you is just try to get little comforts here and there. You might be getting anxiety because you're tired of standing too much. Your feet. You can like point and flex your feet. Move your ankles around a little bit. Maybe like bend and unbend your knees. Get a little bit of blood flow nourishment. Ease the anxiety. What else? Voter fatigue, voter anxiety, and as far as if you're unfamiliar with all the amendments that quite possibly can be thrown into the presidential election voting, just take your time. And you say, who do I believe? Where do I even begin? Well, that's a great question. That's a really great question. Maybe read the amendment in the little mini synopsis and think about it in the most positive light. And then maybe, give yourself time to do that. And then read the amendment and then think about it in the most negative. What is the most worst thing that these things, that the worst person could do with this? Take your time. And then review your selection. Why not? It helps with the memory. Sometimes you get voter fatigue, you get voter anxiety. You're waiting in line so long. You go in there and vote, and you're out, and the percentage of the time, you might forget. So just go ahead and take time to review it. You think, oh my gosh, I'm so happy to get out of here. Okay. But maybe you just want to review it just to keep it in the memory a little bit better. So when you're talking about it with your friends or family or whoever later, you haven't forgotten things. What else? We got snacks, we got books, we got movie talk. Do people read comics anymore? One second, I'm gonna get my puppy. Okay. We got FaceTime with cute animals. Even though I think they talk. Oh, and don't forget to silence your phone. They don't tell you gotta turn off your phone or anything like that, but you do have to put it on silent. So you can't have your phones going off when you're in the room where you vote. So don't forget, silence your phone. What else? And if you want a sticker, that'd be great. The obligatory I voted sticker on Instagram. Why not participate in that? And if you don't want to, you don't want to. But don't forget, that's like the official ending part of the voting process, is your I voted sticker picture on Instagram. I think I put mine on my shirt and I wore it to the seal. You see the face? Let's go, Benjo. So yeah, I guess that is the plan, to vote, and then you're gonna just head on to whatever else you've got planned. So maybe it'd be a fun thing to have something planned afterward. Just ride that good vibe wave there. Okay. Let's see if much rainwater got into this. Nope, still good. Okay. Well, may have dragged on a little bit, but I hope this helps in your plan to vote. Either today, because there might still be early voting today, or tomorrow on election day. So don't get discouraged. If you do get discouraged, don't stay discouraged for long. Be prepared, all that stuff. And I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good one.